My alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and the first thing I want to do is just chuck the thing across the room. But then I remembered the reason why it was going off is because I was going fishing. Typically, I do not wake up at 5 a.m. only to fish. So I drag myself out of bed, get dressed, grab a cup of coffee and a blueberry muffin and head down to the dock where my dad is already waiting for me in the boat. The boat started up and he is ready to go. So my family has been going to the same place for vacation for over 50 years. We go to a little place called Hessel, which is on Lake Huron in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And so we're really familiar with this place. I come from a family of serious fishermen. We go fishing to catch fish. We don't go fishing just for a boat ride or just to wet a line. Now, there is a time and a place for that, completely get it. But what I'm talking about here is we go fishing to catch fish. So once we made the 2 or 3 mile run out to our fishing spot, I took the wheel and kept the boat as straight as possible while my dad got the rods in the water. So for this particular fishing, we are trolling for salmon, mainly lake trout, splake, those types of fish. So we're driving the boat like 3 miles per hour and we have about 9 to 12 poles in the water at once, and we pull them behind the boat, and that's this type of fishing. So after about an hour of trolling, we hear the drag on one of the lead core lines. So I jumped up, grabbed the rod, reeled it in. You know, it's a long ways out there, like it's several football fields out there. But after about 5 minutes of reeling it in, my dad netted it, and it ended up being a 3-pound king salmon, which tastes really, really good. So we reset the line and we troll for about another hour and we get another hit on the lead core. Get this one in, get it netted, and this one ended up being about a similar size, but it was a lake trout, which is just a different species of fish, but still tastes good. So we trolled for a little bit longer, didn't get any more hits, and so we ended up pulling the lines in. We ended up trolling for 2.5 hours. So you may ask, Andy, was that successful? Was it worth it? I guess it depends who you ask. For me, absolutely it was worth it. Catching 2 fish, 2 smaller fish, I mean, could it be better? Absolutely, but catching fish, anytime you catch fish, it's a good day. So as we were fishing, I had a thought. I was like, you know what? This fishing is a lot like starting a new business. I've started 4 new businesses now from scratch over the last decade, and each one of them kind of had the same feeling at the beginning. When you start a business, it takes a massive amount of effort. Massive amount of effort. Like, people always ask me Andy, what should I charge per hour? Or what should how much should I charge for this item? And they're just getting started. It is impossible to account for every single little tiny cost when you get starting because you're putting so much in. I'm not saying just work for free because that is not a sustainable business model. But when you're first getting started, you have to be willing to put in an unspecified amount of effort for an unspecified amount of return. I do want to note though that it does get easier as you go because you can build on your momentum. So it's not all doom and gloom, like, oh, this is like an impossible thing. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying at the very beginning, that is the case. But once you get momentum, it does get easier. So I want to pull out some comparisons between fishing and starting a business or fishing and running a business. So one is you can have the perfect product, meaning you could have the perfect rig, the perfect lure, and you get it in front of people and they still don't bite it. This happens with fishing all the time. Like we know there are fish down there. We are dragging lures by their heads and they're not hungry. And that can be the same way in business, is you can think you have the perfect product, but maybe, due to other factors, like people just aren't hungry, people don't want it. Just like fishing, starting a business has real risks. In business, the risk is failure. Waste of time, waste of money. With fishing, obviously catching no fish, bad weather, broken lines, losing tackle, which is expensive, boat failure in the middle of the water. There are real risks involved, and I think it's important to identify what I'm doing is a calculated risk. This next one is really important in my mind. It was a hurdle I had to cross early on, and it's just like in fishing, we have to decide whether we are serious fishing, like to catch fish, I want to go and catch fish, or we're just along for the joyride, we're out there to wet a line, and it's kind of more just entertainment, fun, get out on the water. Either one is completely fine. There's no wrong way, but it's really, really important, if you don't get anything else out of this video, to decide what you want your business to be. You know, you can have a passive business and just, you know, maybe you have another job and it's really not a big thing. Like your side hustle is really not a big thing, so you don't need to take it seriously. It's just something more of a hobby with a little bit of money. Completely fine, but with that, we can't expect full-time sales results. Remember that passive effort equals passive results. And intentional effort equals intentional results. The amount of effort you put into something is directly correlated to what you get out of it. So we need to decide what we want our business to be. All right, so one more comparison and then we'll get into some specific takeaways. So just like in fishing, when you have the right bait, when you have the right tackle, and you have the right fishing spot, so when you have those three things in line, you greatly increase your chances of catching fish. Just like in business, if you have the right product in front of the right people at the right time, you highly increase your chances of selling more. If you're someone that wants to make money with CNC, I left a little something for you down in the description below. 4 steps to developing your best selling CNC projects. So Andy, fishing and business are similar. Why does that matter to me? Well, here are some takeaways, things that you can implement yourself to improve the results that you see in your business. Number 1, define what success means to you. I already hit on this one earlier, but it is that important. We need to think about be realistic. What do we want this business to be? What do we want this side hustle to be? What do we want this hobby to be? There is no wrong answer. Every one of our circumstances are different. We just need to do some internal thought before we jump off the deep end and jump in head first is, what do we want this to be? This one really resonates with me because I constantly go through this. I feel like I've been through this 3 or 4 times. So it's not a one-time thing. But what do I want Andy Bird Builds to be? That is a real question. I was having a conversation the other day and I have more of an idea what I don't want it to be than what I want it to be. For me, I started making custom furniture. I started making custom set designs. I started selling CNC wholesale stuff. Andy Bird Builds has been like 5 different things. So I need to define what I want it to be. And we're working through that right now. I want Andy Bird Builds to be the place where people come to learn how to be successful with their CNC machine. That's our focus now. Like if you go to our website, it says, I help people make money with their CNC. That's what Andy Bird Builds is. It's a business that does that. So that tells me what direction I have to go and what I need to do. All right, number 2 is you have to make a product in order to sell it. Like if you don't cast a line in the water, you have zero chance of catching a fish. So you got to make a product in order to have a chance to sell it. Number 3 is you will have to learn new skills. This is different for everybody, but usually everybody is not have the perfect skill set to jump in to run a business. There might be an aspect that they have to learn about. So be willing to learn new skills. All right, number 4 is accept that you will have to put an unknown amount of effort into an unknown result. Now, there can be parameters here. It's not just throwing mud at a wall blindly. You can have a plan, but there is going to be an unknown amount of effort for not an exactly known result. Number 5 is identify your target customer. Identify what they want, who they are, how they want it. The more you know about your target customer, the easier to sell things to them it is. Number 6 is don't view a failure as the end. It's just simply researched to start better next time. Number 7, don't forget to define what success is to you. Number 8 is be willing to pivot and try something new. If something that you try isn't working, don't be afraid to take it out back and shoot it and start with another idea. Number 9 is be willing to get uncomfortable and embrace the challenge. Number 10 is when you feel like giving up, keep going. I've been here several times. I think every entrepreneur has been at that point. You feel like giving up, but the ones that succeed keep going. And if you do or keep in mind all the things that we've talked about in this list, success is right around the corner. This video is sponsored by PCB Way. PCB Way is your one-stop for all your PCB, CNC, 3D printing, sheet metal services. They do it all. Offering instant quotes, quick turnaround, and fast shipping, PCB Way is a great resource to have for your next project. So if you would like to incorporate electronics into your next project, or you need a rapid prototype yourself, look no further than PCB Way. So when we go fishing in Hessel and we have these morning fishing trips, like we have all of these things. We have 50 years of experience. We have all the tackle we need. It's as simple as just getting on the dock, getting in the boat and going. We still come up empty-handed. It's no guarantee that we'll catch fish. So why do we keep fishing? Like, why would we go through all that effort, all that money to keep fishing, to catch fish? There's 2 reasons. One, we enjoy the thrill of the chase. We enjoy the process of figuring it out. We enjoy different aspects of it. And although all those aspects go towards catching fish, like we enjoy boating, we enjoy being out on the water, we enjoy eating the fish, we enjoy all of that. So we enjoy the thrill of the chase, and a lot of it is a game and a gamble and a risk, but we enjoy that process. And then number 2 is when you reel in a 20-pound king salmon, you don't forget that. I still remember the first time that happened to me. It is a fight. It is me against the fish. It is memorable. And that memory and that experience makes the whole process worth it. And you really forget the down times. You forget the times that you wanted to give up. You forget about the times that you didn't want to get out of bed. So the combination of those 2 things makes it worth it. Just like in business and being an entrepreneur is you need to enjoy the process. You need to enjoy the thrill of the chase. And when you set out in your business to do what you wanted to do, and it finally becomes a reality, it becomes stable, and you get to do what you wanted to do, it makes it all worth it. The sense of accomplishment, like you're never done growing, you're never done building, you're never done solving, but the sense of accomplishment to look back on what you did makes the whole thing worth it.